who defies gravity, electrifies his appreciative basketball fans with constantly changing magical moves. From the University of
Julius Erving doesn't play basketball anymore, but when he did here in Philadelphia, he did it with style and charisma. He set records, but more importantly, he fired here in Philadelphia, well, an NBA championship from the playoffs against the Lakers, the move from his ABA days out in Denver at the All-Star game, the dunk. They'll all be part of our next half hour of these 30 minutes. A look at the doctor's career. That
important than popularity. So my style of play made me popular at one time. I might have been as popular as anybody who's ever played the sport. I might be right now as popular as anybody who's ever played the sport. But the respect.
This ESPN special program is being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste.
There was one player of the nickname the Doctor. He became a Long Island legend, and the word spread into New York City. Julius took his game to college in the Berkshires. The University of Massachusetts was hardly a tradition. On the court, he led the nation in rebounding, but still by the end of his junior season in 1971, he was not a household name. He was ready to move on. You can literally reach out across 2 centuries and put your hands on history. If you wanted to touch the origins of Dr. J's professional basketball career, you would need the owners of the ABA, almost as an afterthought, gave the Virginia Squires permission to sign the undergraduate Erving, $500,000 for 3 years. He was Dr. J, first with Virginia, then with the New York Nets, and in places like Hampton Roads, Memphis, Greensboro, Pittsburgh, and Salt Lake, the fans of the ABA, where Julius Erving became a word-of-mouth legend. There wasn't much television, so the retelling of the Doc's deeds embellished his moves and his elan. It was a very good time. An innocence fondly recalled.
My teammates and I and the coach and the owner of the teams that I played for was sort of in a... And it was one for all and it was all for one. And our job was to go out and let it hang out. And in letting it hang out, and a night out about what type of player you were, what type of person you were. And, you know, that was fun. It was very...
Those were the best years. They outweigh the championship, anything. Those were the good years.
Especially with the titles, the Doctor twice was league MVP, shared the honor once, twice the ABA playoff most valuable player. But the basketball consciousness best remembered the All-Star game, the slam dunk contest. Al Albert emceed it.
When he had stepped to the foul line and then turned around to step, it was packed, McNichols Arena in Denver, and everybody stood as one. And I mean, I get chills thinking of it right now. The place was deafening.
And that sends everyone reeling. Julius Erving. The Nets were the final champions of the ABA. But without Julius Erving, a contract dispute put him on the block. The very day before the 1976 season, Dr. J was sold to the Philadelphia. Besieged ABA veteran George McGinnis with questions about this Erving. Were the stories true? Erving played opening night for the Sixers without ever having practiced. He led the team in scoring that season. He led them to the championship finals. Dr. J, the one Sixer contract. Portland won, but the Doc Sixers were now playoff regulars. And Dr. J, who had given the ABA the dunk, finals. Baseline drives are one thing, but when gravity is rendered irrelevant, well, rookie Magic Johnson was transferred.
Sudden, he comes up over on the other side, he spins, back spins it up high on the glass. Really stop and really watch somebody that I was playing against.
The Sixers reached the finals that year with a 5-game. The name of Bird. Dr. J and Larry Bird became the principal players in the league's most recurring drama. Regular season battles and 4 playoff wars.
Playing against Dr. day in and day out, and fired up more than anything in my life. Even the college situation, our high school, playing against him was my ultimate high. And the time I went out there to play against him, I knew he was going to do well. Close to his standards, I was pretty pleased with my game.
1983. The Sixers won that war with Boston. In their 4th trip to the finals with Dr. J, the 76ers became champions. The Doctor had his ring.
The World Championship.
Of it, which joy translates into pleasure, is the relationship, material aspect, the championship ring, the championship trophy, and all that kind of stuff, prestige. But the relationship that's shared, it becomes a heart-to-heart situation.
In the spring, he found himself a free agent, and through most of the summer of '86, it appeared the Doctor might be setting up housekeeping someplace. Contract, but Philadelphia did re-sign Julius. Would have been unthinkable to lose the civic resource, so the Doctor was back. Glorious final campaign. The story of that season after this.
Nobody can ever do the things that he done for this league. To do.
If you take in all the qualities, player, person, leadership, etc., I don't think in my lifetime we'll see another Julius Erving.
Finish it at home, but during his final campaign, Julius Erving never played a single road game. The fans, 2 buildings around the NBA, thousands of fans gathered to say 2 simple words: thank you. It began almost spontaneously. Never lost the touch of honest emotion. The Doctor's farewell tour. It didn't exist until Julius Erving announced his 87th season.
Quite simply, I've just notified the 76ers that I intend for this to be my last year in the NBA. One of the main reasons why was because I've been constantly asked this for the last 3 years, and the pace had not slowed up.
Retirement didn't shock, but it did awaken and inspire. Fans, players, and executives spontaneously began to plan. The Phoenix touch was sartorial, just what the Doctor ordered. The Knicks brought together doctors of all manners. The Lakers presented a rocking chair, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar spoke from the heart.
But even when he was putting man's athletic ability, and above and beyond all of that, the man's class, and he showed it all the time.
Struggle. What more fitting or eloquent statement from the Celtics than their presentation? A piece of the Boston. There was another flashback in Landover. Years ago, Julius had welcomed Moses Malone to the ABA with a pregame speech. Goodbye.
And the only way we could win the championship because of Doc, because he was a great family to the team. He kept everybody together, and we love his family. It's a great privilege to see Doc. There's always going to be number 1 man in the ABA and the NBA, because Doc was the man. All right.
In each town, through presentations, speeches, and tributes, Julius Erving found the right words with an unerring feel for the moment, until Dr. J went to New Jersey, where his old club, the Nets, had prepared their...
Oh, as I set up. I mean, People came out of the woodworks.
Pass to those nostalgic pioneering ABA seasons. The Nets brought out faces and names, teachers and teammates.
You know, Fritz coming out with the tuxedo on, big smile on his face, and it being such a genuine experience. Skipped a beat. And I was just standing there, and then I looked up when they were black curtain over it. They started unveiling a piece at a time. And, you know, I just caught what was happening. I gave me the plaque and the big hug. And I looked, and it became almost unbearable. I couldn't look up there. Just tried to regroup, collect myself, and then I felt it. You know, I felt I'd really been touched to the depths. 1987 in Brendan Byrne Arena, you know, the tears came, and I can't remember ever in my life that touched me so much emotionally that I couldn't play.
Philadelphia couldn't contain its thank you inside the spectacle parade through the city. The retirement that captivated a nation was nearly at hand.
I very much wanted my career. I wanted to leave on my own terms while I could still play basketball, knowing that although I had in the NBA, I left in a position and in a condition so that I could still play basketball. And I just don't want to play anymore. I want to take on some other things.
But first, the playoffs. Philly extended Milwaukee to a decisive. The Sixers were outmanned. Poetically, these are Julius Erving's final points. A 3-point field goal. The was now a private citizen.
I told him in the locker room after the game that thanks for the total education of life and of basketball, and most of all, thanks for the memory.
1,000 professional points. 16 All-Star appearances in 16 seasons. Gravity defied. You had to watch because anything could and would happen. Julius Erving left behind more than highlights. He taught those who walk on air.
He's a very caring person. He's a classy person. He's a great role model, and it's roads for young kids. And you know, in that sense, I would love to follow his footsteps.
Set the stage, and then the curtain came down fittingly with a 3-point field goal. And the legend Dr. J had retired. The man Julius Erving had the rest of his life in front of him. We'll spend some time with Julius.
In the course of his career, he simply showed to the way you behave off the court is just as important as the way you star. Very much a superstar in both arenas.
Pictures begin to flow of what he could do on a basketball court. But what about Julius Erving, the father, the husband? Jim Gray joins us now for a... Julius.
How you doing? Yeah? Big fan, huh?
Yes. Goodness and greatness seldom run in tandem, but in the case of Julius Erving, they are synonymous. It's his compassion. It's his endless patience in dealing with the media. Julius Erving has always had time for others. He has an admiration by teammates. And Erving also has the affection and adulation of countless millions.
Which is scary. But I can understand. Well, he tends to respect and have regarding the weaknesses and strengths in human beings.
Nobody's apple pie and ice cream, and but each day, you know, of my life, I I do literally dedicate to.
That internal dedication began in Irving's youth. Yet as a child, his surroundings and upbringing
represented the rest, devilish, mischief, good. Whatever you name it, I think he was into it. But nothing that was so bad that I never had to. Never was called into the schools or anything. I've never been called into no kind of officials or anything about him. Nothing but good.
Julius and his wife Turquoise have 4 children: Corey, Jasmine, Jay, and Cheo. The responsibility of raising the family has been on Turquoise. Both can take pride in the job they've done in raising their children. Extremely difficult circumstances.
Keeping my family together and trying to do things the right way. I work very hard. It comes easy. People may think it's easy, but it's not easy.
You know, maybe more what she does, but she does a lot other than just be my wife, help to raise the family, be mother and father at times, independent endeavors, professional and charity-wise, that give her a great deal of satisfaction and need my support as much as I need to do what I do. And, you know, it's a good mix. Sometimes, you know, you got to get lucky, and sometimes courtship. And we've had a very long marriage, and, you know, every day is not apple pie and blue skies, but regardless of which direction we travel, circle-wise, we always come back to the same point.
Together, and I think that has made it easier to share him rather than coming into his. I think that would have been hard to take.
Julius Irving and Dad and Dr. J and all those people?
No, not really. No difference. Dr. J is a great basketball player, and Dad's a great dad. One thing about because my mom did a great job of being mother and father, so it worked out okay.
Beyond his immediate family.
He was the role model. He was somebody that, you know, you strive. He was a perfectionist. He was very professional, handled himself well, and he made sure that all to emulate Dr. J.
The ultimate compliment to any is when young people like myself at that particular time fight over you to actually fight. Hey, I'm Doc. No, I'm Doc. You ain't Doc. I said I was Doc. Go back and forth, and then actually you start fighting because you want to be Doc. You know, and I think that's the ultimate created problems for me and other young guys because we all wanted to be the doctor.
And maybe that for a truly great man reminds us of no one else. Yet for Irving, who holds so many of the qualities that we all aspire, simplicity.
Image that I've decided to create, born out of people assuming that because I looked hard and, you know, I style of play, you know, I saw it and floated or whatever, you know, people assume that when I go somewhere that the party, I'm gonna be the most creative person there, you know, telling jokes or you know, being out was in conflict with my nature. My style of play, playing basketball, and things that I cite as priorities as a person. And reality won out because, you know, I worked hard to respect of people, whether they knew me or not, as a gentleman, as a poised, dignified, who took, you know, more pride in my existence as a person than as a basketball player.
Julius Erving's that are found in ink in the record book, but they may be the ones that are felt from the heart. We'll have a final word, so don't go away.
He'll have that type of charisma and talent, but I think the game will be, it'll be better because of it.
Dr. J. From hard fact into nostalgic memory. There'll be 100,000 people who will say they were there the night that Doc went baseline on the playoff. They were at McNichols the night in Denver when the Doc went airborne in the slam dunk competition. The memories that attend forever while Julius Erving gets down to the rest of his life. Thanks for...
Thank you for the memories and the good time and the advice. And also for just leading young guys that this is the way to go. You don't have to do it by your mouth, but by your brain. So thank you, Julius, Dr. J. Erving.